Okay. Now, before we go further, in just those 5 minutes right there, I was able to sell enough materia to make about 700,000 SP. Right. So, what I essentially did was, um, every material that I would care about or that has some type of value for fusions, I have at least 3 of them. Right. And usually I didn't count the master ones, but here on the barrier, I didn't care about the one that's master because it only gives 2 spirit, right? And we have wall, and we're going to get an even better wall, I believe, a little bit after this. So I'm not even worried about that there. All right. So essentially, that's what I did. Left about 3 of everything. Now, this purple stuff, especially these tack ups, I can make some magic happen with all of this stuff. All right. But not even worried about it right now. All right. The thing is, I want to get to 15, 16 million SP. And as we go about this, these potions, I'm going to end up selling a lot of potions before I start. Just because, and I will also apply Phoenix down before I start. Let me see. Let me see here. Because we're basically going to be indestructible, and there's no way we're going to go through 15 Phoenix Downs. All right, so there's going to be something else I'm going to pick up, and I think it's the Mithril Armlet. Let me check. Sells for 10 grand, right? So we're going to get a lot of these, and we're going to sell them. We're going to make millions. Here's the setup. All right. Now I have the Assault Twister rather than the Electrocute on there. Really does not matter. I could. Let's see here. I actually could switch this Assault Twister out, and I can make from this SP Turbo attack. I can make an SP Master. All right, because we're gonna make one of those. 999 HP. And we're going to do the same thing with Firaga, and we're going to do the same thing with Darkness. Might make 2 SP Masters. I usually do. That's what I'm going to do. But that's going to require me to grind Darkness, and I will do that as well. I don't mean Darkness, Dark Matter. I'm sorry. But that's the build right there that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be running back and forth for over an hour. All right, and hopefully we come out of this with like 8 million gil or more. More the better. All right, so, but after I cross the threshold of 5 million gil, I won't really care about gil, but I'll still be making it, so I'll still be selling it. All right. I guess at that point I won't care about the jeweled ring, but sometimes they're going to drop material that I'm going to sell as well. Let me see. Okay, we have this set up. I should maybe master this first. Nah, I won't. It won't matter. We'll get it done. All right, so that's going to be the setup. I'm going to apply my my Phoenix down, and I'm going to sell about 40 of those potions, and we're going to get busy. Now, this video is only going to be 10 minutes of me grinding. That'll do it. And we're going to 953. Now keep in mind, you cannot quit after you've done your grinding. You have to beat the boss to move into, to keep the stuff. This is our first grind area, right? And what I'm gonna do is, when it's these guys, I'm going straight into the high jump.
Oh, yeah.
We're looking for 3 stars. Those are the little orange balls that jump around.
Activating combat mode. Bye now. This'll do. Here we go.
And then darkness.
Oh, yeah. Resolved.
So that was 60,000 SP from the 3 stars. These guys, that's simple.
Oh, yeah.
But always from Buster stance. And every time I need energy, I'll just press down in between the matches.
Oh, yeah. Resolved.
Okay. The acquisition. Alright. Now, I'm not going to do this too often because all the material I'm going to get, I'm selling. And on the shop side, the acquisition, Mithril Armless. So that's 150 grand right there. It's going to be just like that.
Activating combat mode. Bring it on. Heads up. Here we go. Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode. Heads up. Take that. Taking you down again. How about this? Oh, conflict resolved.
Right. It's going to be just like that. Now, 1 second here. Got a little fire going. Alright.
Activating combat mode. Heads up. Oh, yeah.
And you want to get in there quick before they run away.
Activating combat mode. Taking you down
Now, darkness will always get the job done.
Resolved. Activating combat mode. Out of the way. How about this? Oh, yeah. Resolved. Activating combat mode. Here we go. Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode. Taking you down a peg.
See how I took them out all with the darkness and I only got 61,000 that time.
Activating combat mode.
That's why I go for him that way.
Oh, yeah. Resolved.
And you still got 60,000, so it really does not matter.
This'll do. Oh, yeah. Resolved. Activating combat mode. How about this?
You know, sometimes it's 61 and sometimes it's 101.
Bye now. Oh, yeah. Resolved. Activating combat mode. Heads up. Conflict resolved.
But I'm going to do this until I'm gonna do this until I reach
Activating combat
15,
mode.
16 million.
How about this? Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode. Bring it on. Here we go. Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
Alright.
Taking you down a peg. Conflict resolved.
We're getting 61,000 there because there's only
Activating
3
combat
enemies.
mode.
But when it's 5 enemies,
This'll do.
right, that makes sense. It's another 40,000.
Conflict resolved.
Alright.
Activating combat mode. Taking you down a peg.
So I'll be using
Conflict
darkness
resolved.
every time.
Activating combat mode. Bring it on. This'll do. Conflict resolved.
Alright, so before I move forward, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to sell everything down to the regen because that has nothing to do with this, but we're at 3 million now. Alright, and I'll go into the shop and I will sell all of those. That's a 500,000. All right, so that's that, and I'll be back when I'm done. We'll see what the finished product is. All right, so here we are after an hour, right? 56 minutes basically. So at Heavenly, 14.5 million SP and just under 5 million Gil. However, I do want to master the Buster Sword, or at least I can get it up to 95% while I'm where I am. Alright, but I do have about 19 top-notch materials that I would like to make. Alright, so we got a couple things going for us, like this Firaga and this Drain. I mean, this Quake is, almost there. We got some work put on these two. You know what I mean? But nothing else really is where I want it to be. That's why through this playthrough we've had a struggle or two. We've had some struggles. You know what I mean? Now I'm gonna push this another hour, and I'm going to try to hit 22 to 23 million. Alright, so we're going to do what we can do. Alright, we're a lot stronger now, but that's the goal. And then I'm going to show how I grind dark matter and how I convert it and master my materia and max it like this Firaga is. Like this Firaga cannot get no better. So that's what I'm gonna do. Catch you in an hour. Alright. So here we are at 21 hours. And we're looking really good. Those are our numbers. Heavenly status, level 99. 95% proficiency on the Buster Sword, 7.6 million Gil, 26.6 million SP, and I don't know if I said it just before, but I've also lifted this Firaga up to 999% HP. Now what I will do is I will go and farm dark matter, which I don't have one right now. I don't have any. Alright, but I have just a thing for that. And when I'm done with that, we have a lot of materia that I am going to max out, just like that Firaga. But that'll be what I'm working on now. But I have been ready to finish everything, but I want to do it with all of the material that I would ever possibly want to have. We're looking very good because we're under 21 hours at this point, so we're already flying through. But yeah, nightmare. All right, so for our next mission, which will be us getting a ton of dark matter. All right. Now, in order for me to reach 99, which is the max capacity, each time should take me, I would say, less than 7 minutes, right? But I'm going to do this a bunch of times, right? And I'm going to max out a lot of material. So, as a tutorial, I'm going to raise this costly punch to 100 spirit, all right? And we'll see how long it takes. So let's go. And it's going to be mission 663. Now, I don't need the mug or anything. I just need to simply go in and cast darkness. I don't even know if I need to go and bust this stance. Let's see. Okay, I do. So there's 4. And we're going to go back and forth.
Activating combat mode.
Try now.
Now, sometimes I'll get stopped like that, but it won't matter.
Resolved. Activating combat mode.
We're also going to get SP.
Resolved. Activating combat mode.
How about this? Taking you down a peg.
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
Hands up. Fly now.
Conflict resolved.
Each time I'm getting 2 rune armlets.
Activating combat mode.
So we're making Gil as well.
Hands up.
Conflict resolved.
Of course, we have aerial drain, and we also have
How about this? Fly now. Here we go.
Conflict resolved.
Firaga. So we're able to do all of the healing we need.
Activating combat mode.
Taking you down a peg.
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
Bring it on. How about this?
Conflict resolved.
Well, there were 6 right there.
Activating combat mode.
Out of the way. Here we go. This'll do.
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
Hands up. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
Taking you down a peg. Hands up. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
Taking you down a peg. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
Bring it on. How about this? Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
This'll do.
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
Try now.
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
This'll do. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
Taking you down a peg. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat
Out of
mode.
the way. This'll do. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
Here we go. This'll do. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
Bring it on. Heads up. How about this?
Conflict resolved.
So we're picking up a ton of SP
Activating combat mode.
as well
Taking
as
you down a peg.
Conflict
things that we
resolved.
could sell for Gil, extra SP, and the
Activating
dark
combat
matter
mode.
that we're here for.
This'll do. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat
Out of the
mode.
way. Try now. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved.
All I have to do is watch the dark matter and the rune
Activating
armlets
combat
to
mode.
make sure
Taking
I'm
you
not
down a peg. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved.
make sure I'm not still grinding it while I'm maxed out to
Activating
its
combat
capacity.
mode.
How about this?
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
This'll do. Taking you down a peg. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat
Bring
mode.
it on. Try now. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
Taking you down a peg.
Conflict resolved. Activating combat mode.
Here we go. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
How about this? Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved. Activating combat mode.
Heads up.
Conflict
We're now
resolved.
at 27 million SP.
Activating combat mode.
Try now. Oh
Conflict
yeah.
resolved.
Okay, so now dark matter is full. Let's go ahead and finish out this mission.
Activating combat mode.
Now, I don't have to finish the mission like this, but I would prefer to do it this way in this
Taking you
tutorial.
down a peg.
Conflict resolved.
That's a lot of dark matter I missed right there. Okay. So now that we have that done, let's first go ahead and save that. Okay, that was about 8 minutes, but I'm also explaining what I'm doing here. Alright, first thing I'll do. 70 rune armlets, I'll sell those. Now in this Materia fusion, we're gonna need a lot of Libras. Just set it back to default like that. Oops. Now, as I'm setting this to 99, right? Now, I'm going to use another Libra. And for Spirit, I'm going to put this Mithril on. And now our costly punch is 100 Spirit. Just like that. And just for the sake of it, let's see, all of these darknesses I picked up, and these death blades, all of this is just extra SP. So see, there's a lot. All right, so that's what we're working with, and I'm going to do a lot more materia, and I will show the results of each fusion. Okay, so I have sold all the extra accessories that I just got and the extra materia, and that took 7 minutes for me to get another 99 dark matters. Now we are going to make 100 attack on aerial drain. First thing we need to do is we're going to buy 11 Libras. Okay, now sorry about that. Here, aerial drain, Libra. Like I said, we're going to put attack on this. So we want this to go to 99 magic. And we're going to use another Libra. And to make this attack, we're going to use a hero drink. And now our aerial drain is complete. Then I will make the next materia. All right, now we have 99 dark matter, so let's go into our shop and let's sell these rune armlets. Let's go back into our materia, market by when we acquire these materials, and that should be it. Yeah, sell those. All right, and now we are making Assault Twister Plus. All right, so, and we're making it attack base. All right, so that's what we need for magic. Let's take this and a Libra and a hero drink. Done, and it's that fast. Now, that was 4 minutes. Our next materia will be Electrocute with 100 magic. Alright, so that took 7 minutes. Now let's go ahead and make our Electrocute. Now we can't use mastered. Alright, so we're going to use this Electrocute and a Libra, and we're going to dark matter this all the way. Alright, so we're going to dark matter this all the way up, because we're making this magic. If we can find it. Yeah, there you go. Another Libra. And we now have 100 Electrocute. And this is what we look like now. Right there. We are getting there really good. Let's see. Yeah. Alright, now it's time to make Darkness with 999 HP. So let's go. Alright, now Darkness, I do not believe we can do Master. Right, we can't. But we're fine. See that? Perfect. Now, let's find that Darkness that we just made. Add a Libra to it and a fat chocobo feather. Alright, now we have it. And this Darkness, there we go. And the next materia up, I believe, is going to be Firaga Vitality. Okay, so instead of making Firaga first, what I'll do is I'll make MAG Vitality, but it's going to go to 98 and it'll stay there. Alright, now MAG being almost unique materia, so gonna be a bit different. Alright, now like I said, we're gonna make this Vitality 98, so we're gonna make it Magnify 97. Alright, this way just add a Mantite, we can make it 98. Alright. However, we do not want to max this out. So, it will not go into our starting lineup yet. Now let's make that Firaga. Now we make Firaga. We have one. Alright. And 94 should do it. No? 95. And there we have it. Alright, now if we look at our materia, this is what we just made, and it has not been long. Firaga, we made our mug, okay. Our darkness, our electrocute, assault twister plus, the aerial drain, the costly punch, the Firaga. Okay, now we need to make the SP master, the high jump, and I believe we're making Quake. I need to check. We need to make wall with spirit. I don't know where Quake is. Yep, and we need to make our Quake. Now Quake is gonna be really fast. That one's gonna be fast. Well, we are on our way. Now we also need to make Tri-Thundaga, and we're gonna make that magic, of course. Look at those numbers. We started, I think, at 27 million or 26 million SP or something like that. We made all that, and all we did was make more money and maintain our SP. Nightmare. So let's go right ahead and make our Quake materia, because that's going to be very fast and easy. Literally all we have to do is find it though. Alright, that's that. Now we probably will be building materia for yet another hour. Let's see what we can accomplish. Alright, time to make SP master. Now that works. And now let's make that SP master with HP. So fat circular feather. Oh, now we have that. And back to the show. Now, let us make our Firaga, but this time we are making a version of it that is vitality. And we're back to it. It's time to make SP Master number 2. And now let's get on with it, right? time for us to make Tri-Thundaga. And it will be made as magic. So we only need one. Excuse me. Be right back with energy. Alright. Now we are going to make energy if we can. And it looks like we can. So MAG is what we want. Perfect. We now make our high jump attack version. Stay tuned, we have a few more. Now on to making our wall material. Okay, so this will also be mastered. Because we do want it to be spirit based. And that's that. We have Gil Toss and Blast Wave left. Alright. Let us make our Blast Wave. If we can find it. And here we are. And we're going to make this Vitality. Alright, so one more thing we're going to need is, let's grab 3 more of these. Actually, grab 2 more. Gil Toss is all that's left. Let's go. And now let's make our Gil Toss, which it will be based on spirit for now. And then later on, it will become luck. Alright, so a bit complicated on this one. Because as of now, it's magic. Alright. I have a spirit Gil Toss. And now we can proceed. Everything is done. I've decided that what I am going to do is go ahead and finish out. I'm going to finish out the rest of what I'm going to make. All right, so let's go and make this very specific SP barrier, which is a rather specific formula. Alright, so we first make our high jump. We take our high jump and we mix it with SP Turbo to make barrier. And Fat Chocobo Feather to make it max HP. Now, let's go back over here and we're going to take the SP Turbo Attack and we're going to mix this with a Hammer Punch to make a straight up SP Turbo, so it'll work with attack and hold on. We're going to push this to 410% specifically. Alright. So now our SP Turbo attack that we just made is going to be for physical and magic. Alright. We're making 5 new materials, right? First is Exploder Blade. We're going to have this based on Spirit Up, right? So let's take that. Now we are going to make Blizzaga Blade, but we're going to make this one attack based. And that's that. Alright. Now we're going to make a magic based Hell Blizzaga. Okay, if we can find it. And this one is going to be easier. And like that, that one's done. Alright, time to make our Graviga. Alright, and we have to use base Gravigas for this one. And we are gonna make this a vitality machine. Wait. Let's save here first, just in case we make a mistake in our fusion. Always a good idea to save first. And we are making this one vitality, I said. Okay. Huh? Okay. Essentially, We can make this Drain. I'm not going to make it right now. We shall be back to it. Well, now let's make our Ultima, and we're going to make this magic base. So it's actually perfect. Okay, here's the final. I believe this will be the final. Alright, so let's find us an attack up, I guess. Alright, well, let's make this plus plus. And we are going to make this into an HP, alright? Only if we can find it. Might be able to just use a darkness. And nope, we cannot. It's fine. All right. Now that we have all of that in place, under 24 hours, I have two things I'm going to do. And these things are not going to take long at all. And I'm not going to do them as a part of the video. But I will explain them because, of course, anyone can follow them. All right. So, 1 second. We have 506 materia. All right. A lot of this stuff we will never use. And some of it that is mastered, like this regen, I'm going to keep it just to keep it. All right. But of this 506 materia, most of it will be gone. I would journey to say we might have 100 materia or less left over. And then we're already at heavenly status. But you know, I use this to get to heavenly. I use this just if I want to mug for some extra Gil, but look at us, we're good. But everything that I've just made that I'm going to keep, I'm going to use Moogle power and master all of them. There is no more materia that I'll need. I'm thinking about, and there's a possibility that our Assault Twister Plus, that attack, it might get a little bit bored on its own. So I might make an Assault Twister Plus with 100 spirit. But when you really think about it, I can make that at any time. So I'll probably forego that. But for now, let's get rid of the material that we don't need and master what we do have. I've shown the process earlier in this chapter. Well, the whole series has been chapter 10, basically. So that's that. Nightmare getting to work. Wait a minute. We have the means to go ahead and make a flare. A flare will be our spirit bomb. Alright. So we're gonna load this with all type of stuff. Alright. Now I really don't care, right? Just mithril laugh. And now we're complete. We can go ahead and get to mastering all this material and throwing away all the garbage. So as it turns out, I actually had forgot 3 materials. Okay, so let's do this Hell Thundaga. And the thing is, these are all going to be magic. Alright, so that's that. Alright, time to go on and, whoops, wrong material. What we want to do is get this Tri-Fire situated. And like that, we're back off. Okay, now work with me. Let's get rid of these 8 lone bracelets. We're at 12 million gil, and it is time for Thundaga Blade, if we can find it. Because we gotta sell all of those darknesses too. Here we go. Our final Libra. Alright, so now that's done, and we can go ahead and sell this Tri-Fire. We can sell this Tri-Fire, right? We can do it's mastered, doesn't matter, we don't need it. We got everything else wrapped up with a bunch of darknesses. We'll double check, make sure we only have 1 darkness left. Let's make sure. We have 64 materials left. Perfect. Alright. Set that by default. Let's set that by default. And even our shop. Everything's by default. Now is the point where I can finally take my 64 material and go in here and master. There's probably about 15 or 16 of them that I'm going to need to master. Just bouncing back and forth between Lucky Stars and Moogle Power. And we'll get it all done. Now, after I fight Minerva, alright. Now, see, this region, I could have spritzed that up and made that, you know, something crazy as far as the spirit. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to sell that. We don't. What do we need that for? We're going to have regen built into our build no matter what. All right. So there is, I believe, the yellow materials. Okay. This mug and this Gil Toss are after Minerva. I will convert them both over to luck, which is why I kept some Giesel grains. Alright, so good to go. I'm gonna do this next part after the video. And what was that time again? 24 hours, 21 minutes, or 22 minutes, and we will see how long it takes me to do these materials.